Good Friday afternoon, evening. Victor, how you doing?
Hey, always good.
It's always good for Friday to roll around. We were talking before we got started. It's like it doesn't feel like Friday, but I'm glad it is. It's just one of those, and I lost my mouse. Why? Okay, look, I have a wired mouse. Look, it even has a tail on it. And I can't find the silly... It's always the worst. Max, we love you too. Thank you very much. I have a call coming in that I'm handing off to somebody else. Great. Actually, I'm not handing it off to anybody. By the way, we are not here next Friday.
Okay.
I didn't tell you that yet, Victor, but we're taking next Friday off because Wednesday is my birthday. And I am trying...
in advance.
Thank you. I am trying my best to get everything done so next Friday my calendar is completely empty.
Very good.
And I have nothing. Doesn't mean I'm not doing anything. It just means that I'm not planning anything.
You're not working.
I am trying my best to not work. So
There we go.
might be working this weekend, so I don't have to work next Friday. By the way, if you don't have your drink, Victor, did you bring your drink today? I've started
Just Coke.
okay. There's so I have seltzer water from Kroger, cranberry lime. So, and to prove it's not gimmicked, yeah, that's what it is. And yes, that is still the same can. I didn't change out cans as I was doing that. What are we going to be talking about today? I have a feeling that it's going to be the only thing we're going to be talking about for a while.
I think we should create a recurring challenge. Find news that are not related to AI.
Let me tell you, that's near impossible. And even the stuff that didn't look to be related to AI actually is, which we'll talk about. Karen, good to see you as well. This week, speaking of things, Kubernetes in 2025, we actually recorded this back in January, I think. So I don't even remember anymore. Anything before March, I just don't remember anymore. But we were talking about whatever Kubernetes in 2025 was. But some of today's news is going to twist that.
Okay.
So 307 came out this week. We're back in the normal rhythm. I'm a little bit ahead in editing, which is good. We're starting to record again week after next. So we'll have newer episodes starting to come out, I think, in September. I think everything I have right now gets us through mid-September. So hopefully there will be more AI talk, for better or for worse. I think it's for worse. But
It's reality.
It's the reality right now. And we'll see that again in some other items today. It's like, okay, this is cool. Oh, rats. It's got AI swizzled into it. And what we have to do. Let's get into it. So Windsurf. So at some point last week, we were talking about Windsurf.
I bought Windsurf.
Oh, you bought Windsurf?
I don't know. Last 2 weeks, every single person of the company claimed that they bought Windsurf. So I thought to join the party.
Oh, okay.
I bought it as well.
So OpenAI fell through either last Thursday or Friday, and I just wasn't paying attention. But it gets even more interesting because, and I have a couple of links here. I'm going to go to the official one from Windsurf. Lots of words. Okay, here we go. As part of the agreement. So Windsurf and Google have now entered into agreement. Part of the agreement, Varun, Douglas, and some members of R&D will join Google. So it's a licensing deal as well. So Google is licensing Windsurf. But then, twists of all twists, Windsurf got bought up, the rest of it, by, what was the C word? That's what this one was. By Cognition.
Yeah, Cognition, exactly.
So just here's the other thing. Fell through last week. It declined. Signed a $2.3 billion licensing deal with Google. Now, a licensing deal to me makes more sense. They're just going to pay me that licensing deal over. I mean, I'm assuming it's annual, but I don't know.
There is so much to unpack there. I think that in case of Google, this is simply because they are under scrutiny for monopoly behavior, right? So they're not buying a company because that might make them look more monopolistic. So they just buy people.
They bought a few people, a couple of people. This smells to me and it's not exactly the same, but it smells to me sort of like how the Waze deal happened. Even though that, they bought Waze, but they kept it intact, and it's still run as a separate business unit, more or less. Even though it's a Google company. So this is a little bit different because of how they sort of split it a little bit. And it's a licensing deal.
Because
Waze wasn't licensing.
Exactly. It's they bought Waze. This is they bought people and IP.
Right.
Or the right to IP or something like that. But the interesting part is that I haven't understood from the start why anybody in OpenAI thought that's a good idea to begin with. I could not comprehend it. I don't understand.
I'm not even going to try to guess.
But because the story is that by the agreement they have with Microsoft, everything that OpenAI does, Microsoft has right to that IP, right? So now OpenAI says we're going to buy Windsurf for $3 billion, if I'm not mistaken, and then Microsoft gets that for free. Why would they do that? I don't get it. Right? Why would you buy anything if somebody else has IP to that something?
Oh, beyond that, Microsoft already has VS Code and GitHub Copilot and all the other things that, again, ignoring the quality of the things. They already have that, right? It's not like they're trying to replace it.
But they would probably use what's good from Windsurf.
Yeah.
They figure it out and so on and so forth, right? It would be a great deal for Microsoft, right? Oh, we get Windsurf for free. This is so amazing. Give me 2 of those. No, give me 3 of those. Why not, right? It's just amazing for Microsoft. And so I never understood why would that happen. And then it fell through. So it's not happening, which makes perfect sense.
It fell through.
Yeah. And then Google buys people with some strange deal and leaves part of the company dry, which I'm not sure even how legal that is, right? Not from Google perspective, but from the perspective of the CEO of Windsurf. Basically, you're supposed to legally, officially at least, act in the interest of the company.
Yeah,
and interest of the company are all shareholders of that company, right?
Yeah, because some of the employees were not so happy. It's like, well, what about us? The ones that didn't make it over to Google, it's like, what about us?
Yeah, of course. What do we do now? You just effectively killed the product because nobody's going to renew licenses with us anymore because nobody knows what the heck is going on.
Yeah.
So as an enterprise product, you're effectively killing Windsurf, and we're getting 0 out of it. We meaning not those few selected to join Google, right? It was a really bad deal for OpenAI, and then bad deal for Windsurf, and now it is bought by something, right?
Cognition.
Hugging Face company.
Right.
So it is a semi-happy ending. It's fine at the end.
If Cognition didn't do what they did, then
what did they do now?
No, that's what I'm saying. If Cognition did not do what they did, it would have been whatever. So the Cognition co-founder CEO Scott Wu disclosed that Windsurf has hundreds of thousands of daily active users. Okay, that installed base is generating 82 million in annualized sales. But how many tokens are being burned in that? Oh, I forgot to. I'll pull something up in a little bit. I forgot to add that I read this morning about tokens.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was almost doing 100 million.
Yeah, but which company would ignore now the last purchase?
Yeah.
After Google, which company would continue working with Windsurf?
I can't think of anyone.
Everybody, top management and every top engineers, founders, they are somewhere else. You don't own exclusive IP on that product. Why? Right? Why would I continue giving you money?
Right. So that's why you sort of having this, and by the way, all the links are already down in the description. if you piece this report from SiliconANGLE and along with the official from Windsurf, it's I don't know. I don't know if the days are numbered for Windsurf because Cognition was doing Devon, right? So
yeah, but they're probably now going to try to figure out how to combine Devon with Windsurf, and then kind of like that will be some of both. It could be something really good out of it.
Right. So anyway, as if things weren't already bad enough with all the VS Code forks, Kiro from AWS came out this week. So yet we have another one. But this one is spec driven. So this is our taskmaster, our whatever thing, whereas all the others were not that way in theory.
Yeah, you would kind of, it comes out to the box with stuff that you might want to set up yourself, right?
Right.
Which is a good thing. And really I feel that the biggest thing we're missing now with coding agents is some kind of a structure.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you're going to set up things for yourself. I'm going to set up things for myself. But those agents do not really, if you just say, hey, develop this new feature, it doesn't work, right? You need to put effort into it. And getting this structure is potentially very good.
Well, again,
it's not working well. It's a horrible state, just to be clear. It's very early, so don't use it. But it shows promise.
Again, all based on requirements, which we should have requirements anyway. I mean, if you're going to vibe code, you don't need requirements. If you're trying to do a real project, I mean, in theory, right? I mean,
the requirements are going to be written by models agents. You're going to review them, and it's good.
Yeah. So anyway, that is currently available at no cost for the moment. Pricing is still there. It's headed towards 19 and 40, so 20 and 40, just like everybody else. Why am I not surprised by that?
So the problem I have is that I feel that bet on models right now is a safer bet than bet on agents, right? Like I have a subscription with Anthropic, right? And then the idea that I'm going to use, let's say, Kiro by paying additional money on top of my Anthropic subscription does not feel good for me personally, right? Because things are changing so much. I'm not willing now to have Cursor subscription and Kiro subscription and what's not subscription, right? The only thing that I'm kind of certain is that for a while, Anthropic seems to be the model to go. And so that's the only subscription I'm really willing to pay at the moment.
The model provider, I guess. And by that, do you mean primarily Sonnet 4 at this point, or are you throwing Opus in there 4. Too? Okay.
Opus as well, but kind of mostly Sonnet.
Okay. So that's Kiro. And then Claude this week finally hooked in. How can I say this cleanly? They made it, at least in the Claude, this is not Claude code, but just Claude. You can now easily hook into MCPs. That's what this little tooling thing is.
Yeah.
I have not hooked anything up yet. I am still like, I don't know. But I saw it.
The desktop version, so
oh, you haven't?
No, I mean desktop. I used it once, maybe.
Oh, okay. I've actually been using it pretty much every day.
Okay.
Just asking it, like just some silly, like still dealing with some of my wife's estate stuff. Just asking, instead of trying to Google it, I'm asking there, and then it gives me the references off to where I need to go. Or if I know the answer is stupid, I tell it, no, that's not quite right. What do you mean by that? Show me the proof. And then it says, oh, yeah, you're right. Let me show you where I got this from. Yeah. Oh, yes, you're right. We talk about that in an upcoming episode. That's interesting. There's also something I didn't put in, that if you have an enterprise with Anthropic, there's now a dashboard so you can see who's using it's an analytics dashboard for the admins to track all the usage of Anthropic within your organization.
I know. It's awesome. It's awesome because then we can compete with each other. Who wrote more lines or who spent more money?
Who spent more money? Yeah, that's the better way to say it. So all this ends up at a report here that came out yesterday. 71% of tech leaders will not hire devs without AI skills. The link to the report is buried here, the 2025 App Development Trends Report. I want to go ahead and pull this up. 71% of respondents to a new study won't hire develop without these skills. What are the skills? AI and machine learning are not okay, whatever. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Well, I mean, it makes sense. Okay, 30% of respondents said that one of their top challenges this year is recruiting qualified developers. That number seems really low because qualified developers have been a problem for decades. I'm letting that one just sort of like.
Are you referring to coding tests that prove how good you are?
Moving on. In addition to hiring for AI skills, 53% of leaders are also looking for cloud computing skills. So if 53% are looking for cloud computing skills, does that mean 47% don't care about the cloud? They're more concerned about,
Yeah, but that's probably that, or they might already have those skills and they're missing other skills.
35% are looking for problem-solving skills. And let me finish this last one. 35% are looking for developers who use secure coding practices. Now, as a hiring manager, as a hiring engineering manager, problem-solving skills. Only 30. So that means 65% aren't looking for problem-solving skills.
That's embarrassing.
65% are not looking for developers who do secure coding correctly.
Is secure coding, kind of like, I don't even know what is secure coding.
Right, but 35% still seems low. It's like, secure coding is, do you know the OWASP top 10? And do you know how to mitigate the OWASP top 10?
Yeah,
right?
but kind of
beyond that.
If you ask me on an interview, hey, do you know secure coding? I would probably say, I don't know, maybe I don't know. But kind of like, I enter that company and they have whatever system in place that tells me, you cannot use this, and I go and check it out and use something else. I'm not sure that that's a special skill. Now, critical thinking or whatever was the phrase of those
problem-solving skills. Yeah.
Problem-solving skills. Anything below 95% would be embarrassing.
AI is not going to do. AI is not going to do problem-solving for. It does problem-solving, but it's not going to.
Doesn't matter whether you use AI or you don't use AI. Kind of like every single engineer is trying to solve a problem. Description of the job. We have a problem, and that problem can be this feature is missing or this issue is there. It's always a problem, right? And you're trying to solve that problem. That's literally the description of the job.
I know. I want to get down to a couple here. Other key challenges: cybersecurity threats. That seems really low to me at 45%. Implementing AI at 37%. That's the first one that seems like a reasonable number. About a third. And then retaining qualified developers at 35%.
That one I would have expected to be higher.
Higher, yeah.
Yeah.
It seems a little low to me. But anyway, that's this is what. So we could say the very trite answer of AI is not going to replace you. People that know how to use AI are going to replace you.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't like that phrase.
That's a better phrase than AI is going to replace you.
It is. But it's welcome to SD times. And
you can say the same thing for many things before, right? Kind of like, Kubernetes is not going to replace you. People who actually adopt Kubernetes are going to replace you. A cloud is not going to replace you. People or companies moving to cloud are going to replace you, and so on and so forth. Right? Vim is IDE is not going to replace you. People using IDEs are going to replace people writing in Notepad.
Yeah. Speaking of Kubernetes replacing you, I don't know if you saw this. EKS now enabled this week. They had their big summit in New York. Enables ultra-scale AI ML workloads. Okay, it enables workloads, period, with support for 100,000 nodes per cluster. 100,000 nodes. Now, some of the things I've read about this is with these nodes, you're only going to be able to get about 1 to 2 pods per node. It was going to be small as far as a utilization, right? From a bin packing perspective. Enables customers to scale up to 1.6 million Trainium accelerators or 800,000 NVIDIA GPUs. Now, I do not want my credit card on any of these accounts that could scale to this point. That would be bad.
Trust me, if you, Darin Pope, now try to create 100,000 nodes, AWS itself would probably limit you on a very, very small number, long before that.
Right. So these next few here, and again, in the links down in the description, are all pretty much the same. Here's the under the hood. They talk about all the different things. And then this was just the higher level one. But still, 100,000. I mean, we know they have lots of servers, but holy cow. I mean,
And now the thing that I would be very surprised if it doesn't say in those one of those articles that actually AI is driving those needs.
Well, it is. It's specifically built for that, and it's mainly so it's EC2 new generation compute supporting Trainium chips or GPUs. So it's the TRN2 instances and the P5 and P6 instances.
There we go.
So it's you got to do one of these 3 instances. Now I'm doing the math. Trainium is their chip. NVIDIA is obviously NVIDIA's chip, but I just think about the actual square footage, square meters, however you want to measure it, of the data centers that hold this. Because you don't want to have 100,000 nodes over, well, I guess you could have it in a zone. That would be okay. But even that would be questionable. Because I want as least latency possible for this kind of work. Oh, man. Anyway, 100,000 nodes. Okay. A couple other things that were associated with this. They have S3 vectors. So now you can actually do vector storage within S3. That will help. Okay, great. That's what it needed.
See, even if there is no AI in the title, it's about AI.
It ends up being AI. I'm going to get to the comments in just a minute. I want to get through the rest of this AWS. And then metadata was also associated because, again, it was about the AI stuff once you dig into it. And then this one was not as much. This is a different, let me see, I want triple. Okay. So these last 2, actually, here, let me take a look at the comments and I'll come back. Because these next 2 aren't AI related. I want to talk about this for a minute. Rob, thanks for the comments. We do only stream live on YouTube. We post the podcasts pretty much everywhere, including YouTube.
Not this one, just to be
clear.
No,
not just the normal Wednesday podcast comes out. Anywhere you can get audio, it's going to be there, including Spotify. Apple in the US. Actually, what is it now? I think Spotify is actually our number 1, and Apple Podcasts is number 2. Google Podcasts used to be number 3, but Google Podcasts is no more. So I think it's just the big 2. Yes, you can host your 100,000 nodes. Max, if you can make that much money covering your costs, that would be great. etcd enhancements running on memory. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's a good catch there. I forgot about that. And, jeez. Karen, that's pretty good. Chips. What else can we add to Karen's cart today? That's pretty good. We won't order those anyway. There's this post here about GitOps continuous delivery with ArgoCD and EKS using natural language. Well, actually, I guess we're going back to AI again. The pain points. So using
escape it, huh?
So it's the ArgoCD MCP server, along with the Amazon Q CLI, which had big problems this week because of their, or I had people at the summit and they were telling me that Q was struggling this week.
Yeah,
which is fine. But here's the AB. Now, you know ArgoCD pretty well.
Yep.
Right? So looking at this table, do you agree with the traditional stack, the traditional column? Can you see that?
Okay, let's see.
User interface is a technical UI, CLI, YAML required, limited access, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, I don't get it. Like, okay.
Well, this is the answers
interface.
that you would expect, right?
Yeah, but what user interface?
Right,
what
exactly.
user interface? You push to Git, and it gets into your cluster.
Yeah, I know.
Now, unless you have financial troubles. Because if you have financial troubles and you cannot afford Netflix, maybe watching that ArgoCD UI is not such a bad idea. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, this is basically just a blog post that walks you through how to set up and use the MCP server, the ArgoCD MCP server, along with Amazon Q. So you can actually use real language. And there's examples of here. But I'm thinking to myself, ArgoCD, there's a YAML file there, and things just happen until they happen. Right? There's nothing
YAML,
magical, so I don't know why I'd even need this.
There is YAML that literally contains 5 lines that matter.
Right.
Kind of name, repository, path, and values. Tolerate. That's it. That's what it is, right? The rest is just fluff.
Right.
So yeah, kind of like, can you create that by typing something in a prompt? Sure.
Yeah.
Is it on top of my list of how useful use cases for a prompt? Well, not even close.
Yeah. Okay. But I wanted to put it here just because people are thinking. Now here's one that does.
I'm surprised. To be honest, I received a bunch of comments so far asking me what do I think about ArgoCD MCP. So people want it or are curious about it. I never understood why, but it's happening.
Right. This one I don't think has any AI, but we're going back to the past now. ECS now has blue-green deployments. I thought it had it all along. I had no idea it didn't exist. So if you're,
I had no idea that actually anybody is actually improving ECS in any form of way.
So if
you're, that's dead in the water.
Yeah, if you're finally getting to 98, 99, maybe 2000, hey, you're ready to go here now. Containers and you're stuck having to use AWS, then this is the way to do it. Now you've got easy blue-green.
If you're already using ECS for a while, kind of like, I see no reason to switch, use it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I just, the same thing, hey, if Meso still works for you, use it. I just would be very surprised that somebody's investing into it.
Yeah. It caught me off guard because I always thought that it already had it. I guess it didn't. Okay, back to the AI stuff. Turn your terminal sessions into incident runbooks. A guy is building this out right now. This is his proof of concept, I think.
Okay.
So here it is. Record your incident response sessions and let AI generate comprehensive searchable runbooks. Now, you've talked about this before. What you've wanted is you want to be able to just type in your command line, do your things, and then let AI come back through and come up with X. In this use case, it's building a runbook after a thing. Right? Is this what we're trying to do? This is what we want?
I mean, I would go a bit further.
Okay.
Because it's not me typing a command and then AI figuring out the output and I have a solution or response or whatever it is. It's about, so forget about AI. How does it work? I execute some command, I see the output, and then based on that output, I execute some other command and I see the output, and based on that output, I execute some other command and see the output, and it goes for a while. Now, collecting all that output by AI, that's great, because that's really where AI shines. Hey, here's a ton of data. Tell me what matters. But I think that it should go a step further and kind of do that dance of the commands, right? Because otherwise, if AI is evaluating the outputs and I'm executing commands, I need to still be there all the time, because hey, one command output, another command output, another command output.
Anyway, if this looks interesting to you, you can try it out, book a demo, all the other things. But
it's interesting. I mean,
so to me, this makes sense, right? This is not a stretch to me. The basics of it are: you start up a session, start doing all your work in that session, and then once you're done with the session, it says, "Here you go."
Yeah,
seems reasonable to me. So anyway, that is called OShell.
OShell.
Oh, maybe that was just short for the other OSSH. Oh, did it just do that? Yes, it did. If you watch what happens over the EL, yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I hadn't noticed that until right then. Okay, anyway, back to AI, or still in AI. Universal Tool Calling 123. Universal Tool Calling Protocol. UTCP. Not to be confused with UDP or with TCP, but this is now UTCP. It has nothing to do with networking.
I'm curious that third to last on the left side. What's the UTCP versus MCP?
Right. Okay.
It feels like MCP.
It feels like this is meant to be an open. So MCP is not open, even though it's open-ish. This is supposed to be an open spec. So core model, MCP is a middleman, whereas UTCP, you have to define everything. Wraps existing tools.
This does not sound right.
I wanted to capture it.
Huh?
I wanted to capture it just to say that we can look at it, but
yeah. But look at the architecture. Okay, so MCP, you have agents, you have a tool, and you create MCP server in between so that the agent knows how to talk with the tool.
correct.
Now, on the right side, the agent goes to the tool directly. So does that mean that there is magic? I'm not implementing in that tool UTCP. Because if I am, then the diagram is exactly the flow is exactly the same as on the left side.
Right.
I mean, of course, I can embed UTCP into my tool, but you know what else I can do? I can embed the MCP into my tool.
Exactly. So I want to go back to the introduction here. Modern, flexible, and scalable standard for blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever. Manual, description of the format, tools, providers. Philosophies act as a descriptive manual than a prescriptive middleman.
Now I get it. So it's not actually, it was right before. It sends back to the agent information how to access the tool directly.
Correct.
Okay.
Instead of inferring, I guess.
Yeah,
It's
instead of going through MCP that actually does the transformation and goes, okay, now
Yeah.
I get it.
So does that change your feelings about it yet?
I mean, you know, with those things, the real question is how widely accepted it will be.
Right.
And it doesn't feel like, I don't feel like anything is going to replace MCP anytime soon.
The horse is already
You know,
out of
it's
the
like
barn.
open telemetry. Hey, you came up with something better than open telemetry. Great. Nobody's going to use it, right? Because we just did the cycle of creating everything that to work with open telemetry. I'm not doing it again unless there is a really, really good reason, some amazingly good reason. I think that the same thing is with MCPs. Everybody's building MCPs, and if you say, you know what, build the UTCP or whatever the name is, there would need to be a very good reason for it.
So that's the link off to the docs for UTCP.
I'm realizing that I haven't said anything positive today, so sorry.
That's fine. I just put this link in here to Andrew Oliver's vibetools repository. It's just the tools that he uses for vibe coding.
Oh,
And
nice.
how he, so I don't know. And plan to me feels like Taskmaster-ish,
Yeah.
but concept. But anyway, that's just as a reference. It's also interesting. 2 contributors, Andrew Oliver and Claude.
Many of my repos now have also only 2 contributors.
Oh, really? Who's your second? Is it Claude?
Claude.
Okay. Mods, which is Charm's command line, now supports MCP. Again, we talked about mods months and months and months ago.
Yeah.
So now it now supports MCP servers just by, what's the defining thing? There, you define it this way. And mod, just add MCP servers to your mod YAML, just like Carlos did below. Example, GitHub, Puppeteer, sequential thinking and time. So you just say MCP servers and you define them away.
Nice.
Again, like you were saying, UTCP probably is not going to take over MCP anytime soon, especially since it's
It
not
needs
there
to
yet.
be some really compelling reason.
If you're using Claude Code, here's a CLI that will tell you when and how much. Going back to the analytics that Anthropic launched this week. Well, here I can just run it locally just for me because I'm not part of an organization. And find out if they're going to start throttling me or not, because I am doing quite a bit of work. But anyway, that's ccusage, if you're concerned about that. LamaCLI, single L, not 2 L's, just yet another thing. But this one works with Olama. That's its purpose in life.
Yeah.
So model management, all the other things. So
Nice.
LamaCLI, just fairly new. 1.0 finally. Okay. I think when I first
It
saw it.
would be nice really if models would stop growing and start shrinking without losing quality, so that we get compelling reasons to actually run models ourselves. Right now, it doesn't seem very compelling to me.
Speaking of compelling, your agents compared this week?
Yeah. GitHub, Copilot, just don't. That's the summary.
Oh, just
Claude?
don't today. Come on, you
Yeah,
got to at least
I mean,
give them a
everything-
chance.
Yeah, everything is today, of course. I mean, kind of, for all, yeah, of course. Don't do it today. Okay, there we go. Claude is so much better, right? There is still my really biggest problem with those is that I feel that I'm faster if I sit next to the agent while it's doing things and redirect it than wait until it finishes. Simply, my brain is not advanced enough to see, oh, I just changed 10,000 lines of code. Review it. That's to me just so much more complicated than to react while it's happening. That's why I still prefer mostly, working on my terminal, Claude Code or Cursor or whatever one is using. And I would probably use those autonomous agents more for something smaller, like bug fixes, right? For that seems like a good use case.
Yeah. And one thing that is not currently, I'll try to get it added later today, is this from Kent Beck. Tokens, the new oil. What happens when demand exceeds supply? And it goes through, it's a long, if you've not read Kent Beck's stuff, you need to grab an adult beverage of your choice, me being sparkling water, and just it's like setting up here. Last month, you were checking your bank balance every morning, calculating runway down the day. If we don't find it by July, we're dead. This morning, you check your OpenAI dashboard instead. You're burning $50,000 a week in tokens. Your growth curve looks like a rocket launch, and you're going to hit your API limits in 6 days. So you were worried about runway, and now you're worried about hitting limits. So it's
I mean, again, depends on how useful that is or not. That's the real question. Kind of 50,000 he mentioned. That's what would I say? That would be at least couple of hundred developers, right? That's not
Maybe,
made by
yeah.
a few people.
Well, it depends because it could be made by a few people, but then if the thing that the story that plays out here is you've got an app that you got out there, and initially you were trying to find 5 people to use it. And now all of a sudden, an influencer like you saw something, talked about it, and now you've got 2,000 people using it.
Okay. That's from the customer perspective.
Correct.
Okay. Now I get it.
So it's not you as.
I thought it was kind of my people are spending too much money on AI.
No.
Like
You fortunately now have enough people using your application, but what you didn't realize is what can be
That's
happening.
Such a beautiful problem to have.
Because I think he gets into the story of the new normal. Okay, you have capital on a new scale to buy your way out of the problem. But if you don't manage to push this problem in the future, it's going to kill you. Your instincts from the past 12 months are exactly wrong. I could argue the past 12 weeks or past 12 days. Once you push this into the future, a new one's going to arise. That's life.
Yeah.
The sustainable architecture you planned, too late. That's the one thing I'm realizing in all this is like, we had mainframes and that was baked for decades. Then we went to client server and that was baked to years.
This just puts even bigger emphasis on problems of premature optimizations, right?
Yes.
Which we had always, but hey, like 20 years ago, I'm going to prematurely optimize for something that will come an unknown future, but it's unlikely to change, right? And as time passes, hey, whatever. Not only that you optimize for something that you did not yet reach, but by the time that you reach it, if you do reach it, it's almost certainly be a wrong type of optimization. Kind of just build it for today. It's so much more important to actually make it work than to make it work later and based on unknown future.
Let's do these 2 sentences. Optimization is useful if it can be achieved quickly.
Exactly.
Delete expensive but not critical features. I know this is hard. You love everything you built. Better to survive today and re-implement tomorrow.
100%.
Reduce users. People will yell at you for this. You just spent a year praying for one user. Now you have thousands and you want to just drop them on the floor. Yep. Not a good option, but it's the best option. Use gated signups, waiting list, whatever, to slow down the demand.
Yeah, and you can. That also, depends how you look at it. That if you have more users than you can handle, that means that you can pick the users that are right for you, which is a luxury that most cannot afford.
The mental shift. In exploration, you were precious about everything. Every user mattered. Every feature was crafted. Every decision was reversible. In expansion, you're at war. Wars aren't won by perfect soldiers with shiny boots. They're won by whoever doesn't run out of ammunition. What is your ammunition? It's tokens. Waste them, hoard them, steal them, borrow them. Don't care. Just don't run out.
Yeah.
The runway that you were watching, meaningless. Investors smell blood in the water, the good kind, this is actually working kind. That hasn't happened in a while. They're begging to throw money at you. Take it all, you'll need it. But money can't buy, and this is the problem, but money can't buy you tokens fast enough. Sorry, Kent, if you're watching this or this gets reported to you, it's small enough to where even I understand it. API limits don't care about your Series A.
Yeah.
Rate limits don't respect your growth rate. Your constraint shifted from cache to capacity. It's like all of a sudden, okay, let's play out Windsurf, even though that's probably not the same thing. So Windsurf was going to get $3 billion. Instead, they get a licensing deal for $2 billion. Lose a few people. They get bought.
Some people in Windsurf got licensing deal for $2 billion. Windsurf did not get $2 billion. Got $100 million.
Okay, well, keep moving there. But anyway, so it's a bad argument. But all of a sudden, I have, practically unlimited cache. But my service provider can't handle the cache that I want to throw at them. They can't give me a service that will make sure that I don't have any gating issues.
I mean, exactly. I mean, that's why everybody's building data centers like there is not tomorrow.
Welcome to Texas.
Yeah, there we go.
Texas and North Carolina, my two favorite states.
It's so good to be NVIDIA. So good. I want to be NVIDIA. I don't know, whatever you do, you succeed, you fail. The only thing that is true right now is that you need more of what we're selling.
Yep. I don't know how that's... Oh. So anyway, I'll be sure to add that last one in from Kent Beck, because it's a good read and will make you realize that this is sort of the weird thing is...
But
go ahead.
If you're talking about tokens used by other third-party models, that is a problem, and it's not a problem at the same time, right? Because yes, they're running out of capacity, but all the major players have very, very strong reason that you can use their tokens. And I'm not referring to the money that they're earning through those tokens, but hey, what happens if for a week, for example, I have constant API limit or whatever kind of with Anthropic? What would happen? I would switch to Gemini, right? And they lose a customer, and they know that, right? They're already in trouble. Competition is so big and fierce right now that losing customers because of your capacity is not a thing, right? And that's why you can see either you're building data centers like OpenAI, or you're making deals with big providers like Anthropic is making with AWS, right? That's the only way forward, because once you lose me, I'm not sure I'm coming back.
That I understand. Speaking of not coming back, we're not back next Friday. See, you set me up really well right there. I'm taking next Friday off for the people who didn't hear it at the beginning. Well, Victor will take it off too, since Victor could do this by himself if he wanted to.
No,
I think he'll wave it off.
Asking. Notice that I'm not a person who is capable of asking anybody any questions. I cannot be a host of anything.
Yeah. And I'm thankful for that, because I can make you talk for the whole time if I wanted to. It'd be very easy. Podcasts come out. Actually, let's do this. Victor video over on DevOps Toolkit on Monday. Are you bringing Whitney back anytime soon for Tuesdays?
We're still not sure the format of
Okay.
the next series, so we don't know.
So Tuesdays is off at the moment. Wednesday's podcast. Thursday is Victor's AMA over on DevOps Tool. Actually, AI and DevOps Toolkit. Jeez. On Thursdays with Scott Rosenberg, and then we're back on Fridays typically, but we're going to take next Friday off. And we should be back the next Friday if everything goes according to plan.
That's the plan.
Anything else? I think we're good. Thanks everybody that's been here with us live today. Do the YouTube things. Actually, if you're watching the replay, do the YouTube things. Give us a thumbs up if you don't mind. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Also, again, we were talking about Victor's channel, DevOps Toolkit, AI and DevOps Toolkit. It's still just DevOps Toolkit for the slug, thankfully.
The logo is
Isn't
still
it?
DevOps Toolkit, yes.
Yeah, that's good. And if you haven't joined the Slack workspace, down in the description is a link off to that. So please go ahead and go join up over there, no cost. Fairly low volume, and you'll find out when things are going to be happening. So thanks everybody for being here today, and we'll talk to you again in a couple of weeks.